What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. With the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today, we have to return back to the Jasmine Crockett situation that unfolded yesterday, in which she attacked a reporter who was simply asking her a fairly basic and what should have been an easy question to answer pertaining whether or not she would like to clear up her comments towards Elon Musk that she made on a live stream when she stated, "All I want for my birthday is for Elon Musk to be taken down." A lot of people, like myself, has viewed that as somewhat of kind of dog whistling, especially in the midst of all of the attacks that have been happening, the domestic terrorist attacks, I should add, that are happening to these Tesla dealerships across the country where they're literally being firebombed and literally shot up. So at a time like this, you're either woefully tone deaf or you're dog whistling. And the fact that she responded the way she's getting ready to react right now tells me that she's just dog whistling when she makes these kind of statements. So let's get into this video here just to get you caught up in case you didn't see this yesterday.
Hello, Congresswoman.
Horse manure. Well, that sounds like fun.
Wait, Congresswoman Crockett.
But it sounds.
Congresswoman Crockett, you were recently on a Tesla takedown call calling for violence on the
that's what it is
29th.
to be here, right?
Would you like to clarify your comments?
As you can see.
Congresswoman, will you condone violence at the Tesla?
Now, if I have to say this too, and I'm going to be a little petty about it. I did see a lot of you simps, who put your cape on for Jasmine Crockett in the comment section. You guys love to simp and put your cape on for bad behavior. He's not in her personal space. This reporter isn't doing anything outside of the ordinary as it pertains to what most reporters do when they're trying to get, a soundbite. They want to get, a little bit of clarity on what's going on. He's keeping a respectful distance. He's clearly next to her and or in front of her, but he doesn't have the camera all in her mouth, right? And you see there is an individual that's standing in between them. And you're going to see here, she's the one that lunges at him. He remains his distance, and you see her getting closer to him, and she's just reacting like somebody who is completely out of control as she lunges towards him. So once again, I'm going to be a little petty about it. Shout out to all you simps who love putting the cape on and just defending bad, degenerate behavior. Shout out to you guys, right? But now, let's carry on, right? Let's carry on. I'm done with my little petty rant. What I want to do now is that I want to move over to this right here, right? Because what we have here is that the man that was assaulted, because yes, this was assault, he did file charges against her, right? As you can read here, his name is Charles R. Downs. Charles Downs said, "I just left Capitol Police Headquarters in D.C., where I filed a police report against Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett for assault, battery, and attempted theft of my cell phone, simply because I respectfully asked her to condemn the violence she has been inciting at Tesla showrooms," right? So he did file assault, battery, and attempted theft of a cell phone, charges on her. So charges were put on her, right? Or at least he did file a report against her, I should say. Let me clarify. He did file a police report on Jasmine Crockett, as he should, right? And also, as you can see here, he also shows the damage done. This is his hand after the fact. I'll zoom in just a little bit, and you can see here that his hand is a bit red. And when you zoom in a little bit more, you can see right around here the indentations of her fingernails. I'm surprised that he didn't get cut by her fingernails, but you can see she did bruise him up a little bit. I mean, Jasmine Crockett has a really strong grip, apparently, right? She has a very strong grip, apparently. And since then, Jasmine has been trying to do a bit of a cleanup job, right? She's been trying to do a bit of a cleanup job because yesterday was a very rough day for her. It was a very rough day for her, even outside of the attack, right, that she engaged in on this man. So she stated this after the attack. She stated, "This morning, an individual attempted to invade my personal safety." I don't even know what that means. An individual attempted to invade my personal safety. Anyways, it is Jasmine Crockett. This morning, an individual attempted to invade my personal safety for a soundbite. Thank you to my colleague, Representative Tim Burchett, for putting himself between me and the individual to ensure I made it to committee. In time of division, he put respect and safety first, and I appreciate it. But, it's a nice attempt at a cleanup job, I guess, but we all saw the video, and you lunged at him. You attacked him, right? He didn't attack you. He was very respectful, and you chose to be a degenerate. Now, what I didn't expect is this right here. What I did not expect is for the next day, which is today, the women of The View actually came out against Jasmine Crockett, mocking Greg Abbott, right? I didn't expect this. Many of you are aware right now that currently there's a little bit of a debate in the House on whether or not they will censure Jasmine Crockett for mocking Greg Abbott's disability of him being in a wheelchair, referring to him as Hot Wheels. And apparently she made another comment as well, saying that he's wheeled his way up to the White House, so on and so forth. But yeah, the women of The View actually spoke out against this. And I'm just completely mind blown about that. I wasn't expecting that. But let's get into this video here and let's see what they had to say about Jasmine Crockett.
There was like 3 or 4 examples. Referred to him as Governor Hot Wheels. Said he was rolling up to the White House. Said he. Yeah.
I think that
not a good idea.
Yeah, it's not you just don't mock people with disabilities. I mean, you don't mock people. You don't mock people. I was going to say you just don't mock people at all. And I admire Jasmine Crockett. I do think she's an effective messenger. I think this was a mistake, and I think when you make a mistake, you have to own it. You have to do that because it gives you a lot more credibility when you do that. I did not know that Governor Abbott was a paraplegic. I had no idea that he went around, and the people in the audience also are shaking their heads. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was a tree fell on him when he was 26. A lot of his photos are taken from the step down, from the waist up. But she is the representative from Texas, so she very much so must have known that he is in a wheelchair. And so I hope that she does the right. They want to censure her for it, and I don't know that's not appropriate, but it is appropriate for her to apologize.
If you want me to take everything you say when he talks about different people, you said, no, I was just joking. Okay. Then let's all do that right now and say she made a mistake.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on. We're not censuring people. We're not going to do it. We're going to say to people, just don't do it. Don't make jokes. As Joy says, what is it?
Leave it to the comedian.
That's right.
So I'm actually very surprised at this. I'm very surprised at their response here. And like I said, they are debating whether or not to censure her behind it. I think that she should be censured just due to the fact that she's running around out here attacking people, putting marks on their hands, to the point to where they have to go to the police station and file a police report. We'll see where that police report goes from here. But as it pertains now, as we round things out, to Jasmine Crockett taking responsibility for her actions, she didn't. She didn't do that at all. Instead, what she chose to do was essentially double down on her comments by defending her comments. The women of The View said that, you need to own this, Jasmine. And I actually agree with them. At a rare moment in time when I actually agree with the women of The View. But did Jasmine Crockett take that advice? Of course not. Of course not. Instead, she came up with excuses. And what she's going to give us here as it pertains to an excuse is so completely, utterly ridiculous and it's just pathetic, honestly. This is just a pathetic excuse. As you can see here, Representative Jasmine Crockett defends Governor Hot Wheels' comments about Abbott amid censure threat. So she's defending herself as opposed to owning the situation, right? Representative Jasmine Crockett, who seemingly made fun of Texas Governor Greg Abbott, is now claiming that her comments referring to him as Governor Hot Wheels while speaking at a banquet in Los Angeles on Saturday were not about Abbott's disability, but rather his terrible policies. Really? It wasn't about his disability. You're calling him Hot Wheels because of his terrible policy. Okay, let's see how she talks her way out of this one. I'll zoom in a little bit more. It reads, and I quote, "I wasn't thinking about the governor's condition. I was thinking about the planes, trains, and automobiles he used to transfer migrants into communities led by Black mayors, deliberately stoking tension and fear among the most vulnerable," Crockett wrote in a post on X. Okay, so, this racism, white supremacy made her do it, I guess, right? I'll read that again. I was thinking about the governor's condition. I wasn't thinking about the governor's condition when she referred to him as Governor Hot Wheels and that he's willing his way up to the White House. I quote, "I was thinking about the planes, the trains, and automobiles he used to transfer migrants into communities led by Black mayors, deliberately stoking tension and fear among the most vulnerable," Crockett wrote in a post on X. Literally, the next line I said was that he was a hot blank mess, referencing his terrible policies. That is a horrible cleanup job. A horrible cleanup job. And just another example of these DNC politicians, particularly the Jasmine Crockett's of the world, who really do a disservice to the Black community that they pretend to be so much about, and she really doesn't even pretend, if we're being honest. She's really more about illegal immigrant community. But they like to pretend to be pro-Black, and that they're for the Black community, but they consistently do the Black community a disservice by always false flagging some sort of racism, right? This whole explanation that she's giving here, where she's trying to tie in racism and stoking tensions and fear between vulnerable communities, meaning tensions and fears between, Black citizens and Hispanic illegal immigrants in places like Chicago and New York and whatever. And he was, deliberately sending these people to cities with Black mayors. People like her are the textbook definition of the boy who cried wolf, right? In this situation here, we'll say the woman who cried racism. You do it so much when it's unnecessary and just completely ridiculous like this, and you create a situation and an environment in which, in the face of real discrimination that's happening on the basis of race, you make the conversation and the exposing of real discrimination that much harder, because you're always crying racism where it doesn't exist, where it's not real, and where it's unnecessary. So real victims, right, in real situations of racial discrimination or gender discrimination or any type of discrimination, they turn it all into garbage. They turn it all into junk. They make it so that actual victims of situations like this cannot be heard, because now when a real situation occurs, everybody's going to cover their ears and go, "Oh, la, 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 here we go again." Jasmine Crockett does the Black community a great disservice when she does this, as well as all other Democrats that like to play that game. And this is just a garbage excuse at the end of the day as well. Just own it. You messed up. You messed up when even The View was calling you out and telling you to own it. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And also don't forget, most importantly, please make sure you're following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. In today's video, peace and have a great afternoon.